explanation part kind of short because I asked last week if you wanted a part 2 of the Q&A and you really wanted a part 2. So I'm making a part 2 and in known style I'm going to talk a lot. So the intro is not where I'm going to talk the most. So let's just get started with the questions. Woo! That was fast enough. That's nice. Okay, so how did you come up with the background music in your videos, and do you have any tattoos? If not, would you ever get a tattoo done? And what kind of tattoo would you get? I'm asked this tattoo question so much, but just super fast. The background music that I usually have now, I have Christmas music, but the background music I usually have, which is this one. Insert funny. This is called Whistling Down the Road, and I found it in the YouTube creator section. So if you go to sort of your YouTube channel or so, you can go into video editor, I think it's called in the English pages, and all the way down on the left side there's something all the way down there that's called YouTube creators or creator, or I don't know. But there are so many royalty-free songs there, and I wanted a royalty-free song that was sort of happy and uplifting and so. So I think it's in country. I think it's called like country sort of. Yeah, but anyway, it's called Whistling Down the Road, and you find it here on YouTube as a free download sort of thing from the video editor or so on your channel. So yeah. And the tattoo part of things. Okay, I do not have any tattoos as for now, and I don't mind getting any tattoos really, but I want them to be sort of special or thought through. And as for now, I don't have anything special in mind. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a tattoo, but as for now, I don't have anything special to sort of, I need this. Yeah, it would be cool. I don't mind. But I wouldn't get like, okay, it's really funny if like in 10 years by now I am just covered in tattoos as I'm saying this. But I don't have any plans on getting covered in tattoos because I think it looks really cool on other people, but I don't want it myself. So yeah. That answers so many questions people had, because so many asked me if I had any, if I wanted any, anything. Okay, so how to keep your sentences short. How old were you? How old were you when you started? No, I'm sorry. How old are you, and when did you start shredding the guitar? Okay, I am 21 years old. And I started playing guitar when I was 13, so that's 7 years now? Yeah, because I got, what? It's 8? Almost 9? I started playing guitar the Christmas. I was 12 and I got my first guitar 2 months after, when I turned 13. So what? Have I played 1 year longer than I thought? Anyways, I'm 21 years now and I started playing when I was 13, so yeah. That's that. Have you ever been to Ireland? No, I have not been outside of Scandinavia. The only reason I got a passport was to get a bank card. So my passport is actually expired. But I would love to travel, but I haven't been to Ireland, but I got the card from Ireland that was from, okay, I'm not sure if you are called Alex or Alec with like a C in the end or an X in the end, but thank you so much for the lovely letter. Thank you so much, it means so much to me. Yeah, thank you. But no, I have not been to Ireland myself, but I would love to go there, and I would love to go to England and just everywhere. Travels! do you go to school or are your studies completed? I still go to school, or not school in that terms, because I go to university and I study, currently I'm studying sort of the digital development along with human culture, and it sounds a lot more fun than it actually is, so I'm going to change that this year, or sort of next year, so yeah, excited! Okay, so do you think that with the 2000 or so planets known right now, that there has any form of life? Okay, as a disclaimer, I am not an expert on this matter, so everything I say, you need to take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not sure if that's an explanation or expression in English, but just my personal opinions of what I've read and what I personally think and such. I'm not sure that there are, in terms of close enough to us, life in the terms of human life, because when I read a lot about the Fermi paradox, I was sort of hit by this attitude that we're either first, or we're doomed, or we're so extremely rare that it's really difficult to find others or so. And I got so fascinated with the first and the doomed, because the rare sort of aspect is not really that surprising, because obviously it's rare to have all this sort of development to get the human intelligence. It has to be rare. I mean, come on. But in terms of being doomed, in terms of being first and then sort of really alone, and with the if you combine those with being rare and being first, there could actually be the quite slim chance that there might not be combined with the third in our sort of lifespan, that we actually reach to someone, because we either are doomed before we reach them because they are so rare and we are first and they need to develop or so. But yeah, in terms of there being so insanely many planets that are both fitted for life and unfitted for life as we know it, because that's sort of an aspect of things I think as well, because there, and again, I am not an expert on this, so this is just my thinking of the sort of, I don't know a lot about biology, and I don't know, sort of, I don't have any education in this, so I don't want you to sort of be like, oh yeah, that must be true because I heard it on the internet. This is not factual facts, it's just me thinking out loud, and that needs to be taken sort of with caution, because it goes sometimes way too fast up in here for me to actually follow myself. So, okay, my thoughts are that we are so incredibly set to that life has to have water, and by all means, not an expert. And I think that might someday be a really like, what? They really thought that it had to be water to be life? Because we found these really weird animals that are living on, I don't know, diamonds or so, that doesn't need water because the biology doesn't. Okay, so when you have a rule in the universe, like for example gravity, it's not gravity doesn't exist, doesn't not exist. God, okay, I'm explaining myself so bad. Okay, the example is gravity, and the rules of gravity, whether or not humans know about gravity and have a name for gravity and understand gravity, does not mean that gravity is not there. So if I, as a human, am not aware of gravity, that does not mean that gravity does not affect me. So I think that there are actually a lot of rules or sort of things that are happening to the universe and to Earth and to sort of everything and everywhere that we don't know about, and it's sort of somewhat ignorant to sort of set your mind so stuck in the idea that it has to be this way, because time and time again has proven that humans as the intelligence race has actually had a lot of things wrong, and still are doing things wrong. And I think it's really important to sort of keep an open mind to that, even though we are not aware of how things work outside ourselves, does not mean that they aren't outside ourselves. Am I making sense? Okay, so even though if I don't know that things can exist without water and can exist with or without gravity, does not mean that it cannot exist without water, because even though it's the only way I know, it does not mean that it's the only way the universe works. Yeah, sort of. But yeah, I'm losing track of the question. God, I forgot what the question was. Has any form of life? I think that there might be some sort of bacteria or so, but I am not sure that we are suddenly gonna sort of dig in Europa, the moon of, is it Jupiter? I'm not sure, but Europa is really interesting. I think that's what the ice moon is called. God, it's so long since I read about it. But there is this ice moon in our own galaxy, which can be sort of the closest example. Maybe Mars, since it has rivers, or old rivers. But the fact that there are glacier geysers, is that what it's called? Geysers? Sort of watery explosions on a planet means that there are, of course there's ice, we know there's ice, and when we know there's this sort of, as there are on Iceland and probably other places as well, there are geysers that are actually exploding, but there are hot water pressuring so that it escapes through these vents, and that's happening on this particular moon that I think is called Europa. But it is happening, and then I think, I am not sure if it's yeah, okay, anyways, because there are ice, we know there's ice, but it could be solid ice, and where there's solid ice, again, in our sort of mental perceptions of things, there cannot be life in solid ice. Okay, so that's fine. But when you have explosions of water sort of coming out in the atmosphere around it and sort of the space around it and everything, there will actually be this point where the ice is sort of on top, and the hotness that makes the explosion, there will be some parts in between there that is actually sort of normal temperature, because when you have super hot and super cold and they meet, they create this neutral environment, and when you have neutral water, there can be life in that water. So yeah, I think that we're not that far away. But then again, there is this that we are transporting sort of our bacteria into the universe, so we can suddenly find like, oh my god, there's some bacteria here, and we're transporting it back to Earth and analyzing it and be like, oh man, it's just student dust from an apartment at a college in anywhere. Like it can be anything, because I don't know if like bacteria die in space when they are traveling from Earth to, like, let's say Europa, because if we were to land on Europa, we would technically be landing there with everything we got, so we're not sort of 100% just one thing. We have a lot of bacteria and everything, so I don't know. I just love these things. Oh my god! So yeah, that's a lot of rambling and a lot of thinking out loud. And a lot of it can be wrong, and I'm okay with it being wrong, but it's really, really fun to sort of experiment with these ideas because it's so interesting. Oh my god, I really, really like thinking about this stuff. Let's see here. Same guy. Do you think that other civilization has found us and has no way of telling us, or are already sending people to our planet? Oh man, that's a difficult question. I don't think that people would have found us and then not sort of interact or so. And I don't think that people could keep it a secret. I don't think that there are like alien conspiracies that some government or some Illuminati knows that there are aliens and just won't tell us, because I don't think that would be possible to keep a secret. I don't know, it's really interesting to think about, but at the same time it's quite frightening to think about, because not in terms of who we are meeting and how in the world we are going to communicate, because in spite of all the Hollywood movies, I do not think that aliens will come here and speak English, or Norwegian for that sake. That would be pretty cool. That would make like Norwegian like language such a statement language. Oh man, that would be cool. Yeah, there can like Vikings out of those alien ships. Like, do you have this classical alien ship like these like discs or so, and there would just come out like big bulky guys with like long beards and helmets and swords and be like, yeah, speaking Norwegian or Icelandic. That would be even cooler. Being from Europa, the ice moon, with the geysers and speaking like Icelandic, they would properly be from Iceland then, because oh man, Europa, like the ice moon, and Iceland I think has a lot in common, like Greenland and the geysers of Iceland is probably more like it, but yeah. But in terms of finding us, I don't know. I just really like thinking about it. It just spikes so many thoughts in my head at the same time. I just can't even. Oh my god. What are your favorite YouTube channels? So, I spent probably too much time on YouTube. I love watching YouTube videos, and I probably, no matter what I do, I have a YouTube video in the background, because it's so nice to have this company around, and I just really like it. So when I practice or so, I really like having on either Jacksepticeye or the old playthroughs of PewDiePie, because I really like gaming channels. And Laura in the Kitchen as well. Oh my god, Laura in the Kitchen makes the best cooking videos, in my opinion, on the YouTube, because oh my god, I've tried some of her recipes and they are awesome, and she's just adorable. And that's Nerdy Nummies as well, Rosanna Pansino. Oh my god, I love her. And I also really like animation videos, like not the animation in itself, because I think those are awesome. Those are awesome, but I really like the process of animating and the process of drawing and such. I find it so interesting, and I really like to have that on in the background when I'm practicing myself, because then I feel like I'm working with someone. It sounds kinda sad if you don't do it yourself. But if you know what it's like to have someone there when you are trying to focus on something and they're trying to focus on something, it actually really helps. So Scribblenetty and Pixelpit I watch a lot. The streams from Pixelpit is so great to have on in the background. And I tend to lose focus sometimes, but it actually really helps having someone talking about their own process of animating or their own process of like doing whatever they're doing when you are doing some sort of your thing, because then I start explaining as he's explaining what he's doing. I'm starting to explain sort of in my head what I'm doing, and I understand what I'm doing better because I'm sort of explaining it to someone. I don't know, but I really like Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, both the new and the old videos. I think the newer videos are different, but I don't mind it really. I think he has a lot of great points, and I think it's when he makes like ironic or sarcastic videos, he is on point. And Laura in the Kitchen and Rosanna Pansino and Pixel Pit and Scribblenetty, and I have so many more. I just love YouTube videos. Oh my god. So yeah, but those are like shortly what I've sort of watched recently or so. But yeah, let me know if there are some awesome YouTube channels I need to check out, because oh man, what can you do? Who needs Netflix and such when you have YouTube? I love it. I love it. How long did it take you till you became this good with guitars? In terms of being a good guitarist, I think I am still learning, because there's always something you can learn, and I think that's probably one of my favorite things about guitar and music, is that it's so big. So you can learn anything new any day, and you can always be better. And but in terms of getting where I am today, I think I'm always getting better. So I think it's difficult to sort of set a point where it's like, yeah, at 5 years of playing I was actually a good guitarist. I don't know. Also, I am really like hard on myself in terms of being a good guitarist or so. There are so few mistakes that needs to be made before I'm like, okay, this is not good enough. So in terms of being, let's say, a confident player, it took me probably 4 years, I think, to be like on a comfortable level of playing. But then again, I am a shy person and I'm quite hard on myself, and in terms of playing guitar. And yeah, I don't think that you need 4 years to become a decent guitar player, really. Just probably the most important thing around the 4-year mark for my sake was that I accepted the importance of having fun rather than being perfect. Because in terms of being like, okay, that's 3 mistakes, that's not good enough, start over. It's more important that you're actually like, okay, that's 3 mistakes, but I'm just digging this song and we are jamming out and just having so much fun. That's much more important than those 3 mistakes will ever be. And I didn't realize that until I have played quite a few years. So in terms of starting out playing, I think it's so important to try and keep that sort of, okay, this is too many mistakes. This I don't like how this sounds, but you also really need to keep in the front of your mind that it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be your way to sort of show emotions or have a hobby or sort of just be creative and just live life, really. So don't be too harsh on it. And yeah, there's this really like middle road of being like, okay, this is enough mistakes. It's okay that I have those mistakes, but it doesn't need to be any more mistakes. And in terms of being like, okay, I'm just having so much fun right now. So yeah, about 4 years I would say. But then again, my first year was so unserious in terms of practicing that it's just unreal. So yeah, 4 years in terms of one being pretty not serious, so 3.5? I don't know. But it's everyone's different, and just have fun and rock on and just, yeah. So I see that we are now out of time and I blame it on the space question because I just cannot like talk shortly about space. I really love space. Oh my god. It's so awesome. I love it. I love it. And I'm not sure why I really like it so much. It's probably that it's so big and it's okay to have a wrong theory or a wrong thought or so, because really no one really knows. So you can just throw it out there and be like, I think this, and people will be like, yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, I just love space. So the space question took a lot of time, but yeah, I hope you liked this part 2 of the Q&A we had last week. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to Christmas! Also, thank you so much for all the suggestions that I got for having my Schecter in drop C sharp. So I have so many songs I can check out now. But yeah, I'll talk to you on... not talk to you on Sunday, but I will see you on Sunday, and then we'll talk about the song that I'm playing on Monday. Yeah, so I'll see you then, and have a wonderful week, and yeah,